Hey, what's up everybody, it's Priyanjani. So today we're going to talk about two different jog wheel types. The first is the touch sensitive jog wheel, also known as touch capacitive, like here found on the DDJ Flex 6 controller. And the other is the pressure sensitive jog wheel, also known as the mechanical jog wheel, found on the CDJ 3000. But first, let's show you where DJs can get their music from. Direct Music Service. DMS is an online database for working DJs and mix artists. It's the one-stop shop where you can get your music from for your gigs. It's a searchable, organized database with thousands of edits, remixes, and different versions of your favorite tracks from many different genres. You can now save some money and get a discount using one of these two coupon codes. Use the code PJMonthly and get 30% off your first month off any monthly subscription. Use the coupon code PJYearly and get 10% off your entire first year of any yearly subscription. Go to directmusicservice.com today to sign up. So when you're shopping for DJ gear, you might come across three different types of circular devices on the DJ gear. You'll find a mechanical jog wheel, touch capacitive jog wheel, or a rotating platter. We're just going to talk about the two jog wheel types. So right now I have deck 2 in record box, and both the CDJ and the right deck of the Flex 6 are locked to them. So whatever I do to one jog wheel will happen to the next. So these two are in sync. So we'll start with the mechanical jog wheel because these came out first. Prior to the CDJ 1000s, there were rotary jog wheels on CDJs, but they weren't capable of doing vinyl mode, which allows you to manipulate a music track like vinyl. Before, the only thing you could do with those jog wheels was rotate, which is similar to when you switch from vinyl mode to CDJ mode. You can only slow it down, speed it up. But when the CDJ 1000 was introduced, it gave you vinyl-like function of manipulating the track. Now, the way a mechanical jog wheel works is that the top piece of the jog wheel has to be depressed like a button. So you can't just lightly touch the top in order for the stop motion and the movements to respond. In fact, I can touch it so light, it won't even move. See? The top piece has to be pushed down. So if you're scratching or manipulating a mechanical jog wheel, you have to put a little bit of pressure on it. Not much, but you can't be too light on it. The mechanical jog wheels are what you find on all current model CDJs, and they come in all different sizes. The CDJ 350 and the XDJ 700 both have a smaller mechanical jog wheel. Now, mechanical jog wheels can also be found on some controllers, but the majority of Pioneer DJ controllers have what's called the touch capacitive jog wheel. The difference between the mechanical jog wheel and the touch capacitive jog wheel is the fact that there is no upper button that you can press down in order for the vinyl features to respond. The way it works is that it senses the electrostatic charge on your hand, and basically you can manipulate it just simply by touching the surface. I'm like just feathering that. On the pressure sensitive one, if I touch it that light, it doesn't respond. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! See? Now if I apply pressure to the touch capacitive jog wheel, say the same weight of the cloud lifter, it still works, unlike on the mechanical jog wheel. Now, my cloud lifter is metal, so if I touch the metal, it does make enough contact for the sensor to sense my hand. The touch capacitive jog wheel also comes in different sizes, and you'll see them on entry-level controllers, but all the way up to even professional controllers like the DDJ SZ2. Now, if you live in a house, sometimes you live in an older house with bad grounding, and it can affect the way a touch capacitive jog wheel operates. Bad grounding can sometimes be introduced through the wires, especially unbalanced wires, and it can sometimes prevent contact with your hand, and it'll just keep playing even though you're trying to move it. Now at a gig, it can sometimes happen, but it's not often because usually the electrical circuits are done professionally and are well grounded. Now, one of the former weaknesses of these older mechanical jog wheels also is if you get dust and dirt particles in there, say from a sandblast from DJing in the desert, sometimes these little rocks can get in the way of the rolling bearings and actually break them off. And even if they don't break off, you can feel more resistance in there. Now on the CDJ3000, the jog wheel is made to be dust and dirt resistance, so that way you don't get any of that in there. Now both types of jog wheels can come or not come with a rotation indicator. Most of the smaller ones actually don't have one, like on the DDJ SP3 or the DDJ 400. The rotation indicator can either be LED, traditionally they were always LED, like the one on the Flex 6, or they can be LCD, like a full display screen, like the one we see here on the CDJ3000. And that was a feature that was introduced on the DDJ1000. Now you might ask, is there an application where we see a touch capacitive jog wheel with an LCD indicator? The DDJ800, it looks similar to the mechanical jog wheel of the DDJ1000, but smaller, but it's actually a touch capacitive jog wheel with an LCD display for its rotation indicator. Now classically, before the CDJ3000 came out with its redesign of the mechanics of the jog wheel, the touch capacitive jog wheels were usually known for being the smoothest, meaning there's no resistance, and because of the lack of the top being capable of being depressed like on a mechanical jog wheel, it has a simpler bearing system on it, so the wheel is usually super smooth. Before the CDJ3000s, every mechanical jog wheel on CDJs and some of the controllers had the bearing system. And you can actually hear the wheels of the bearings when you rotate it. And you can also see that the top of the jog wheel had some give to be depressed because they're sitting on springs. And all these characteristics actually created a little bit of resistance, so you can feel it when you're manipulating the mechanical jog wheel. So before, touch capacitive was known to be the smoother of the two, but now with the CDJ3000, they're both pretty smooth. In fact, the mechanical jog wheel of the CDJ3000 is so smooth that I have to use the jog adjust tension control knob just to add some resistance to it in order for me to be able to effectively use it. Because if I have it down, it tends to throw more. Now, when it comes to using it, is one better than the other? Well, it's such a small adjustment because on mechanical, you just have to add a little bit more pressure, but not that much more. Now, if you're used to the touch capacitive style of jog wheels, you might develop a little bit of a light hand. On vinyl, having a light hand where you just barely have a grip of the record is usually favored upon so that the platter continues to move despite the resistance caused by you holding onto the record. So if you're going from a touch capacitive onto a mechanical jog wheel, you just have to remember just give a little bit more push. Not a lot, but just a little bit more. Now, which one feels more like vinyl when you're scratching? Well, the truth is, and this is my opinion, a jog wheel doesn't really feel like vinyl. What it is, it's a substitute for being able to manipulate it like vinyl. If you want it to feel like vinyl, use DVS and use a turntable. It's kind of like the difference between an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar. They're not played exactly the same, even though all the tuning is the same. They're both guitars, but once you start playing it, you can clearly tell that it's a different instrument. So when you're approaching a jog wheel, treat it like a different instrument. There's things on the jog wheel that you can do that you can't necessarily do on vinyl. Now, between the both of them, they don't really change the way you play, but one of them you'll see more on the higher end professional gear. It's made to take the rigors of constant use and different climates over the course of time, especially when different DJs are always using them. Now, on a controller, if you're the only person using your controller, the touch capacitive jog wheel is more than good enough. Now, if you have a controller with a mechanical jog wheel, even better. Because regardless of which jog wheel you end up with, it's not gonna make you sound better or worse. You still need to know how to play. Because whatever you learn on one, you can definitely apply to the other. So now let's play a quick track just to do a back and forth between the two jog wheels. All right, hope you guys liked this video. If you got any questions, comments, or anything to add about jog wheels, please leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts, answer any questions, or learn anything new that I didn't cover in this video. If you like this video, please smash that like button. And if it's your first time here and you found this video useful, please click that subscribe button. And don't forget to click that little bell icon so you get a notification the next time I upload a video. Don't forget to add me on Twitch, where I like to do my live stream mix shows on. I tend to alternate the gear that I use on these shows, so you can see the gear for yourself that I talk about in my YouTube videos live in action. All right, really appreciate you for watching. Thanks, take care, stay healthy, and may the force be with you, always.